Hello and welcome back to PowerPoint review number 5. Review number 5 found in your textbook on page 286. In previous videos we started with step 1 and worked our way through step 12, and now we're beginning step number 13. Step number 13 says we're going to open the data Excel book. All right, this is our data Excel book. And hopefully you've opened it earlier. Then we'll click on File, Save As, and we're going to call it Crew Data, just in case something goes wrong later. It could happen. All right, you're going to want to play with this a few times and save it in the same place along with your MIS 104 work. Okay, step number 14 on slide 12. All right, on slide 12 of PowerPoint. And that's where we are. We're going to change this view to title only. So we'll change the layout to title only. There we go. And then we're going to embed cells A3 through F5 from the GPA worksheet onto this slide. So we go back to Crew Data, and we go change to the GPA worksheet, and we select A3 through F5. And we click Copy. Now we go back to the PowerPoint display and we choose Paste. Now what verb did they use to embed? That's the verb. We want to embed onto this slide. And there it is. We're going to resize the object so that it is 1.6 inches high. All right, so make sure you select the outside border of the object and then follow along to your shape format pane, and we're going to make it 1.6 inches high. Okay, so what I realized right away is that the aspect ratio for this object is going to be maintained unless I let it not be. All right, so I use the dialog box launcher on the size group, and I'm going to select the lock aspect ratio. We're going to turn it off. Okay, and the width is going to be 11.52. 11.52 inches wide. There we go. And we're going to position it so that the left edge is aligned with the left edge of the title box. Okay, grab that left edge. And there's our guide for the left edge. Good. Looks pretty good. Okay, so that's step number 14. Step number 15, it says we're going to fill the cells A3 through F5 with a blue accent 1 lighter 80% color. Okay, that really doesn't tell me what I need to know. It's the next feature they want changed, where it says format cells A4 through A5 and B3 through F5 with a heading for cell style. Well, folks, cell styles come from Microsoft Excel. So what we're going to do is we're going to double left click the outside border of our embedded workbook. Right? Because it's embedded, we have embedded the Excel workbook into our PowerPoint application. Now we can start using things that come along with Excel. All right, so all of our cells are selected. So I'm going to the Home tab font group. I'm going to use the shading command, and I'm going to select blue accent 1 lighter 80%. That'll give them a nice blue color, robin's egg blue, I'd say. And then we're going to format A4 through A5. Let's pick those, A4 and A5. And here's our cell styles command, heading 4. And then we're going to select B3 through F3. And we're going to do the same for them, heading 4. Not only that, but we're going to change the cell size to 14 point and the other two to 14 points. And that, folks, is step number 15. Now, the feature about step number 15 is to demonstrate what an embedded workbook looks like within PowerPoint. This next step, step number 16, is to demonstrate what a linked workbook is going to be like. All right, steps 16 and 17 are a linked workbook. All right, so I'm going to click outside of the workbook. And notice nothing has changed with my Excel side. On slide 10, we're going to change this to layout only. I'm sorry, title only. The layout is title only. There we go. And then we're going to link the chart in the ERG scores worksheet in the crew data workbook. Okay. Oh, I don't need this. And I don't need this right now. I need this. And I need the ERG scores. And I select the outside edge of the chart. Please don't miss any part of the chart here. And we're going to choose copy the chart. Then we come back to PowerPoint. And we're on our slide. And we're going to choose paste. And the paste option we want is the one that keeps the source formatting and linked data. We want to keep that formatting with shades of green and yellow and blue. We're going to resize this chart so that it is 5 inches high. And that it is going to be 8.46 inches wide. And then we're going to center the chart somewhere in this area. We're going to put it in the center. There's our center guide. Good. Nice chart. So that's step 16. It's linked. The next step is the demonstration of how linking works. I'm going to go to the Excel book. And I'm going to change the novice women's number from 8 minutes to 10 minutes. And notice how the change affected my Excel workbook. Now let's go back to PowerPoint. And notice that very same change was reflected in this one. Now what the author suggested was to make that same change, only this time instead of 10 minutes, he wanted it to be 7 minutes and 25 seconds. So I'll choose accept here. And my chart shifted. Then I look back to PowerPoint, and again my chart shifted. We're going to change the chart type to clustered bar and then switch the columns and rows. All right, so we've got our chart selected. And let's see, we go back to chart design on our ribbon and change chart type. And we want a bar chart. It's clustered bar. Choose OK. And we're going to switch columns and rows. Switch OK. Okay. Now, if we were to change any more data here, okay, those changes would be reflected because the data is still tied to, right? Let's see what the varsity men do, right? Okay, and then we go back to PowerPoint, and you can see that change reflected. And if I undo that change, it's undone back here. Even though I changed the chart type and even though I switched rows and columns, the data is still tied together. And that's the point about linking your work. And it said to exit Excel. So I'm going to say X file and close. Do I want to save it? Yeah, I always save my work. Let's see what happens with step 18. Step number 18 says break the link between the first time rower presentation and the crew data workbook. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to File, Info, and down on the bottom where it says Show Properties, just above that is a Edit Links to Files, and choose that. Select the link and break the link and close. If we happen to change any data now in our crew data workbook, here's our crew data. Okay, let's say for some reason that the varsity men suddenly became slow. Okay, or so suddenly became super fast. They did it all in 2 seconds. That wasn't a good idea. There we go. And then we go back to PowerPoint. Presto. Because the link is broken, there's no change. Okay, so that's step number 18. We're going to pause here and continue on in the next video.